Okay, so I know there's going to be a divide when it comes to this chapter of Boku no Hero Academia. It's very obvious. I can already sense it judging by the way this chapter was done, especially towards the ending of this chapter with the loss of Todoroki. So, let's, cover the issues most likely some will have before I get into the chapter review. So, I feel like the reason why some are probably going to have an issue with this chapter, like I said, it's going to be a divided thoughts about this chapter, is because if you're a Todoroki fan and you loved getting to see what Todoroki did with Izuku, our main male character, how they fought and he used his fire sign and stuff like that, you probably love Todoroki as a character, and I'm a Todoroki fan too. And to see in this chapter how he lost like he did, like he didn't lose because he was weak, like not weak in a sense when it comes to terms of power. Todoroki, as weak as he probably would have destroyed Bakugou at the end of the day when it came to actual power, if you would have used both sides. But the main thing that happened in this chapter is Todoroki lost the will to fight. He lost the will to fight, he didn't want to use his fire side, and he remembered his mother at the last moment that gave him his scar, and he took Bakugou's ultimate finisher move to the fucking face, and then he flew out of the ring. So, Todoroki lost because of trauma. That's pretty much what happened. He lost because of trauma. And this is probably going to divide the thoughts of the chapter of multiple people, because some are probably not going to like that, getting to see how Todoroki lost because he just lost the will to fight. Personally, I like that, in my personal opinion, because getting to see Todoroki as a character still trying to overcome that, it feels more realistic. To be honest here, okay, let's really look at this. Yes, Izuku and Todoroki's fight, it was very monumental. It was a great moment, especially getting to see the way Todoroki progressed as a character and the way he was thinking about how he wanted to use his fire side. But one does not simply get rid of past trauma like that, in realistic terms. Like, if you have a past trauma to where your own mother leaves a scar on you, like what happened to Todoroki, you're not going to forget that. You're not. See, you're not going to forget that. And it'll take years upon years of recovery to probably even try to get past that. And so, one character coming up like Izuku, just giving him a speech and saying everything's going to be okay, personally, it's cool and all, and I love it. Very badass moments, but if you think about it, at the end of the day, this is actually a more realistic outcome. It really is, if you think about it. It's a lot more realistic outcome seeing Todoroki lose to Bakugou, not because of physical strength or using his powers, but because he lost the will to fight after thinking about his mother. So I like that. I like this chapter, but take it how you leave it. I know there's going to be a divide here, so if you dislike it, that's how it's going to be. If you like it, that's how it's going to be. Either way, personally to me, it was a good chapter. So, besides that, this entire chapter concludes the Bakugou versus Todoroki fight. That's what this entire chapter is. Just those two going at it, beating the shit out of each other, and getting to see a little bit of character development of Bakugou. Like, when Bakugou first started as a character, you didn't really think of him as much of a thinker, like a tactician. But as the chapters progress, and the more we see of Bakugou as a character, and as the chapters continue to come out, you can really notice that Bakugou isn't that stupid. Like, when you first started the series, like I know I did. I know when I first started the series, I thought Bakugou was going to be that airheaded asshole friend, or best friend, or rival in the series that's not going to have the best mind to him, because, you know, Izuku was our character that had a brain on him. And to see how Bakugou as a character is very intelligent, coming up with strategies to go up against Todoroki in this chapter, like going after his fire side and trying to make it to where he is trying to force Todoroki to use his fire side, it's kind of showing you what type of character Bakugou is and his mindset when it comes to fighting. And also we got a display of that when, you know, he fought best girl in the series, Ochako. We got to see that he used his mind, he didn't drop his guard, he was making sure he was paying attention to what was going on. So it just goes to show you, Bakugou uses his mind a lot. Even though we don't get to see a lot of internal thoughts going on like Izuku, we can see he does use his mind. So I appreciate that quite a bit when it comes to Bakugou as a character. But regardless of that, Bakugou was kind of doing similar things that Izuku was doing. He was trying to make it to where Todoroki would use his fire ability. And in that sense, you can look at it as if Bakugou was doing something very similar to what Izuku was doing a couple chapters back when he fought Todoroki. Because, look, Izuku lost the fight because he was trying to make it to where Todoroki wanted to use his fire side, and Izuku kind of lost. And then in this chapter, Bakugou was kind of trying to do the exact same thing, but different way about it. Because, you know, Bakugou's less subtle. He calls him a maggot and an asshole, you know, stop looking down on me, stuff like that. So, Bakugou has a different way about him, but he was kind of doing a similar thing to what Izuku was doing multiple chapters back. So another great way to display what type of character Bakugou is. And that's about it when it comes to this chapter. The chapter is very simple, but it's going to probably divide a lot. I think this is the first chapter I think that's probably going to divide the readers of the series because of the outcome. But that's to be expected when you have characters like Bakugou and Todoroki, which have a lot of fans backing them both on each side. Because there's a lot of fans to Todoroki, and there's a lot of fans to Bakugou. I know there is. And so, this is going to be a divide here because, you know, when one side loses, of course, you know, one side's going to be angry. So, yeah. Anyways, tell me your thoughts in the comments below. You all have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.